Hello, welcome to Teaching Tuesday. I'm Heather McGee. Today we're going to make woven star tree toppers. I was really excited when I found this pattern because this is the kind of star we have on top of our tree. It's made out of wood slats, very thin wood slats, and I got it a number of years ago and I've always loved it. So it was really exciting to find a pattern. So I'm going to show you how to make these out of paper. Now this is out of regular scrapbooking paper. It's not real thick. It's kind of like computer paper, printer paper. I think something a little thicker would make it hold up better. This kind of goes, it squishes a little bit when I hold it sideways. And if you're going to put it on top of the tree, you can just slide your top needle right up through there and that'll hold it up straight. Or you can hang them from the ceiling. You can make a series of stars or pretend they're snowflakes. But I'm going to show you how to make these. They're not hard, but they're kind of fiddly. So you're probably going to need one of your grown-ups to help you out today. You ready to get started? Okay. You don't need very many supplies. You need 2 pieces of construction paper. This is 9" by 12". We're going to be using the long direction, the 12" side. A pair of scissors, a glue stick, and whatever method you want to use to cut strips. If you've got a rotary cutter, you definitely need an adult to help with that. You can use a paper cutter. You can use a ruler and mark 1/2" increments on your paper and cut them that way. But you're going to be making strips. You're going to need 20. And I've got 20 that I've already cut here. These are 1/2" wide by 12" long strips. So I'm going to give you a minute to let you get some cut. Whatever method you use is fine. They just need to be about 1/2" wide by that 12" long. So cut the long way on your 9" by 12" construction paper. Take a moment, get some pieces cut, and then join me again right back here. Now we get to begin construction. Let's start out with 1 piece of your paper, fold it in half so that you can put a little bend in the middle just to mark it so you know where the middle is, and do the same thing with a second piece. There we go. We've got 2 that are bent. Come on down and see what I'm doing here. I've put a newspaper down because I've got some glue and I don't really want to get glue all over my desk. So here we go. The folded part is right here. I'm going to put a little blob of glue right there in the fold, and then I'm going to take the other fold and put on top of it, and I know that that's the center. Now I'm going to try and line these up as straight as I can. If they're a little bit crooked, it will still work. You're going to try and get them as lined up close to 90-degree angles as you can. Now we're going to add 2 more pieces on each side of this center piece, but they're not all going to go on top or underneath. This piece, see right here, this piece that goes down towards you on the screen is underneath. So I'm going to put the next one on top like that. I'm going to leave a little bit of space. There's about 1/4 inch in between, and I'm going to put a blob of glue on there just to hold it where I want it. Now, before your glue dries, look at your spaces. You're going to be about 1/4 inch. I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to look at it and say it's about the same here as it is here. And the bottom and the top are lined up. We need 1 more on this side. This time, we're going to put it underneath. So we've got under, over, under. This is going to be weaving. We have done some of that, but not too much recently. Now I'm going to glue this also. The easiest way to hold this is to put 1 finger on your strip that's underneath and another one on top. You see how I've got them on there? And if you can hold your fingers kind of tight, and you may need someone else to do this, I'm going to flip that little leg back and put some glue there. Now I just totally knocked it out of sync, but that's okay. The glue is not going to dry that fast. So I'm just going to try and get it. There's about the middle. There we go. See that? I'm glad I put paper down because I've got a little bit of glue squishing out the side there. Now we're going to put two more on this side. This one was under, so I'm going to put this one over top. Just a little bit of glue. Enough to hook it there. It's about 1/4 of an inch. There we go. And one more. This is going to go underneath. So you have a pattern here of some of your 5 strips going under and some going over. They're going to trade places. So every other one will be under or over. See how I held that there and then hooked it on? Like I said, if you need an adult to help you, that is not a surprise. This is not a hard project, but it does take some fiddling. Now that we have 5 across this way, we're going to put 5 up and down. Now, we already have 1 across the center. So as I work in the next piece, I'm going to weave it in between these pieces that I already have in place. Now the first one I have here, this long piece goes underneath. So I'm going to put this new one over top. So here's my piece right here. It's going over top of this new leg. So this under this one, over, this one will be under, this one will be over, and then this one will be under. See that? So they're woven in there. Now in order to keep it and get it at the spacing we want, we're going to slide that in a little bit. See the little tiny squares you have in the middle? You've got about that 1/4 inch. Now hold down one set of paper while you're marking the other to get some glue on there. I'm not going to worry too much about those middle ones because they're hard to get to, but I am going to put glue on the outside ones. I have a little bit of glue that went over there, and it will dry clear, so you won't see it there. One more, and we're weaving as we go sideways. This one was under, over, under, over, under. So this one's going to start off going over top. Now weaving is good practice. It's good to know how to do that. And little guys, I think the hardest thing for this is just being able to hold your piece of paper where you want it. So an adult is really helpful on this particular project. Sometimes those adults are a good thing to have around. There we go. Turn it around and I'm going to do two more pieces. I'm going to go opposite directions. Under, over, under, over, under. So you're going to just continue this pattern until you've got all of your pieces in there. Remember to hook them in with some glue. It was a big blob of glue. You don't really need a lot, but sometimes more comes off than others, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm kind of making a mess. There we go. My extra glue. Pull it up off the bottom. See that? Now we need one more, because I only have 4 this way. So we're going to go, my sideways piece went under the first one, so now I'm going to go over the first one. There we go. Kind of slide it so it's in place. Got a little space in between. It's about 1/4 of an inch. And if you need an extra pair of hands to help hold on to this so it stays still while you glue everything on, go ahead and get a bigger kid or an adult to help you. There we go. Like I said, kind of blobby, and you can see some of my purple glue on there, but that will dry clear and you won't see it at all. So there, now you have a woven section in the middle with 5 fingers coming out from each side. Are you ready for the next part? All right, let's go. Turn your woven piece so that it looks like an X in front of you. See that X? We're going to be making curves on each one of the corners. So we're going to pick up one side. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the end of it. Pick up the opposite side and bend them so that the corners meet. Now your glue doesn't dry too fast, so you've got a moment or two to get that where you want it. See that? See that shape? Kind of stands up, doesn't it? Now we're going to take the next 2 pieces. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Put some glue on the end. And then bend your other piece around. Got a little bend there. There we go. And hold it together for a moment so that it stays. Now you've got 2 pieces that come to the little points there. Once you're done with those 2, just hold on to them for just a moment. Let your glue stick really well. And then turn your star to the next corner. It's still an X. Take one piece, turn it over, put a little bit of glue on the back of its leg there. The same piece from the opposite corner, without folding them, just bending, no folding. Line up the corners, that, and squish the glue together. Then the next 2 pieces, bend one across, and hold it there for a few minutes. It doesn't even have to be a few minutes, long enough for it to stay stuck. Now if you're having trouble getting it to stay, you can put clothespins on those to hold on to those until they dry. I think these are okay right now. Turn. You'll notice that there's one extra piece in the center. Just leave that one alone. We'll use that when we assemble the whole project. Repeat the same process on the next 2 corners. My glue stick is trying to roll away from me. Hold it there for a moment. And then the edge of this one. There we go. Hold it there for a minute. See, we've got this extra one. Turn one more time. We have one more set of corners here. The 2 inside pieces. Put glue on the back of one foot and turn the other one over top of itself. Take the next strip in, some glue on the back of it, the next strip, bending it and lining up the corners, and then holding that for a moment. Whoops, not straight. Need to hold it long enough so that the pieces of paper don't pull apart. See what it looks like? One side is all curling up. Here's the other side. Can you see that? Now we're going to take this one piece that you've made already, take your next 10 pieces, make another one of these exactly the same way. If you're not sure what to do, just back up, start at the beginning again, and walk through. You're going to start out with a woven part, glue together, and then hook the corners. I'm going to tuck this one over here to let it dry and make another one, and then I'll be back with you in just a few minutes. I've gotten my 2 crazy looking pieces together. The glue is still drying, but it's pretty well stuck. And I think I'm ready to put them together into one final star. So watch what I do, come along with me, and we'll make it together. Going to take one of your crazy stars and have the legs going up on it like that. The other one, turn upside down, so the legs are pointing down. Turn it so that its crazy fat legs are going to go in between these. And they're going to sit on top of each other like that. Now these extra pieces, I'm going to show you what to do with. We're going to tuck them inside the pieces opposite them. And we're going to glue them down. So let's start with this one right here. The bottom, one of the bottom single strips is through the 2 top strips. Now, as you look here, see if I can do this so you can see what I'm doing. Right now there are just a lot of pieces of yellow, aren't there? I'm going to put some glue on the inside of each one of the little corner pieces. You see those? I'm going to put some space in between them and then take this particular strip and squish it down on top of them. You see how this looks? Now if it's a little crooked, it's alright, you can just line it up there. There is some space in between these 2 curved pieces. See that? This is what it looks like on the inside. Straight through here. Now, this piece of paper, the end of it, is lined up with the point on the back. And once we get done with that, we're going to trim it off so that it will look pretty good with that. It'll be all matched up. Now we're going to go to the next one. So this one is on top. I'm going to go over to this one on the bottom. Tuck the one little leg through. Lift it up. Again, you may need an extra pair of hands here. Putting glue on the inside of each one of those points. See that? Glue on the inside of each point. Put some space in between them, and I'm laying this little single leg over top. When I pick it up, I can line it up better. There we go. See that? I can line it up, and I can see better where everything is. Hold that for a moment. If you need to flip it over so you can see it better. Like I said, this part is not necessarily hard, but it's definitely awkward. And if you need a clothespin to hook those pieces till they dry, go ahead and just add a clothespin to that to let it dry. That's one that I used for, it's got turkey eyes on it from a couple weeks ago. Flipping it to every other one here. So the single piece from the bottom and the 2 pointed curves from the top. Glue on each one of the points. Put some space in between them. And then put down that single leg. When I look at the other side, after it's been begun to get stuck, there we go. See, there's a little space there. You can line things up however you need to. Just hold those for a second and go on to the next one. Put my turkey grip on there. And here's the last one on this side. 2 points, glue, glue, and then this single leg goes down there on top. Squish it down, and then when you pick it up, you can keep it pinched together so you can check and see if it's as straight as you want it to be. It's not bad. And then hold for another moment. Move my turkey over here. Once I've gotten those 4 done, I'm going to turn this over, and I have 4 more. You have a single piece here. You see that? It's going to come up through the inside of these 2 curves. Pick it up out of the way. You've got 2 points there. Glue, glue. Ah, I'm gluing my fingers. That is one of my favorite things about these projects, is that I get glue all over me. That one's not very straight, so you just move it around, give yourself some space in between, and then just hold it for a few moments. If you need to move your clothespin over, or if you have more than one clothespin, you can slide it on over. Go to the next one. One more. One more. Now see, there's a big poofy space in here. There's supposed to be. It's supposed to be there. And by not folding these pieces of paper as we're gluing them together, they will help keep the shape of the star. They'll keep it popped out so that there's plenty of room for your pine branches to go up through the center. If you want to use it as a tree topper. There's more of my purple glue. There we go. Just slide this guy over here. Okay, now I'm still working for the ends to dry. But while we're doing that, you see how square these ends are? Take your scissors and trim off each one of those corners to match the triangle that's underneath it, so that it's got a nice point. You see that? You see the difference? One has a really nice point on it, and the others are flat. So while you're waiting for the glue to dry, you can go around, just snip off the very corners of each one of those little pieces. Do you remember how many legs you have? 8. Yes, you have 4 on one side that you did, and 4 on the other. So get all 8 trimmed. Now your star is almost ready to go. It just needs to finish drying the whole way. If you try to put it on top of the Christmas tree and poke a branch up through there without it being all dry, it's going to pop the little feet of your star right off the edge. And there we go. Look at that. So it took a little bit of time, but it only took 2 pieces of paper, some glue, and some scissors. I hope you've had fun making your woven star tree topper. I would love to see some pictures of ones that you've completed.